sorry. Okay, we're back. We gotta like get up and move or something like that on occasion. I don't. I wonder if shifting the camera up and down will fix that. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, um, where were we? Where were we?
We were talking about the targeted controls and
Right. Okay. So yeah, the focusing, excellent new mechanic. I think it's great. It just makes certain things easier. And oh, right. What I was saying before was if this is the thing that can make people try out a new weapon and find some fun with it, then mission accomplished. I think that they did a great job with it. Um, what about the wounds, weak spots, and stuff like that? You got any thoughts on that?
yes. So I like the implementation of it,
Uh huh.
However, I don't think it should stagger the monster as much as it does, because you can really just kind of change there, or they can't do
Yeah.
anything if you get enough wounds popped.
See, that goes back into the discussion of tools that we all have at our disposal.
Uh-huh.
Hunters have tools at their disposal. Monsters also have tools at their disposal, but monsters just have a lot less in their toolbox in comparison to previous entries in the series. Um, your ability to stagger, stumble, knock over enemies, break parts is ludicrous in this game. You can if you're a bow user, oh my god. You can keep monsters permanently on the ground. It's ridiculous because it's so easy for the bow itself to pop wounds. It is it there's no comparison. There's no other weapon in the game that's as easy for popping wounds as the bow. And it's a little egregious at times. There are times where I feel bad for the monsters I'm fighting. Oh man, it's ridiculous. I mean, I like the mechanic. I like the idea of wounding and getting extra materials and all that stuff. Even if it does make certain parts of the game a lot easier, especially for grinding, resource gathering, stuff like that. Um, it's just it's just I don't know. It's a lot easier to keep monsters on the ground.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just like that's it. Like I like the wounds, but like you said, I think that they could tone down some of the stumble mechanics, or
Hmm.
conversely, increase the HP values for the wounds.
Right.
There are some areas on monsters. They have the whole tables out there for people to peruse and whatnot. Um, but you can pop some wounds in like 150 damage. That's nothing. That is nothing. You know, um, and some values they go up into like 700 or something like that. I think baseline they all should have been like I don't know 400 and above. Because right now, like you said, they happen so frequently, man.
I
And
know I know
that's
some insect glaive users that will disagree with you wholeheartedly.
yeah. Well, insect glaive users are dumb.
Their whole mechanic revolves around that. Apparently, they say.
I mean, okay, only if you decide to try and use like L2 and L1 to try and get your essence. Are you kidding me? That is dumb.
I've got yelled at for taking their wounds.
Okay, if you're in a multiplayer, okay, well, let's touch
We'll
on
get
this
to
now. Online etiquette. Okay, there are certain things, right? There are certain things in terms of online that you need to prepare yourself for if you're going to play. All right. The wound system is no exception. Okay. Yes, there are certain weapons that benefit more greatly than others as far as wounding is concerned. The insect glaive, the long sword. Uh, I don't know. I'm sure there's another one that benefits incredibly greatly for doing wounds. Charge blade,
Yeah.
mostly for the animation duration and how much damage it does. Uh, yeah, no, but if you're going to play online, right, you need to accept that, you know, some things are going to be out of your controls. Uh, Popping wounds, if there's a bow user, you're not going to touch a single wound. Okay, you have to
Right.
You have to accept that. Conversely, and this has always been my big thing, and why I've got a dedicated sticker specifically to ask people if they're capturing.
Oh yeah.
If the host is going for a kill, don't take it upon yourself to do the capture, and vice versa. You know, it's do what the host is doing is my thing. But whatever. It's a minor thing. You're playing online. Most of the time, it doesn't matter anyway because we're getting a huge surplus of materials anyway because of the new wound system, which I think that's a little wild too. Just the
Yeah.
just the amount of resources you get. I think you shouldn't get a material for every single wound pop because right now I'm pretty sure you do, and it's so much. I would remember having to go on multiple hunts to make a single anything, weapon,
Yeah.
armor. In this, I'll do maybe one or two, and chances are I've got everything I need. And that's including rare materials, or supposedly rare materials, like plates and gems and medullas, you know? Stuff where people would be sitting there like, oh, when did you get your Rathalos gem? Oh, I'm still looking for one, and people would go on 20 or something hunts to try and carve one from a tail or something like that. Whereas in this, it's guaranteed. You can just go onto an investigation, go to an SOS, and look for the rewards in the mission, and it'll tell you, oh yeah, you get a Rathalos gem for doing this. And it's like, are you shitting me? are you kidding me? I mean, whatever. It is what it is. As someone who works full time, who's not 20 something years old anymore, I've had a good time with this game. I've appreciated the faster pace and the lack of grind and stuff like that. I'm not the hardcore vet I used to be. Okay, so the fact that I can save a little bit of time and get some of these materials has been nice. But man, they throw a lot at you.
Like, that kind of reminds me of I seen a Reddit post from a guy who says he has 135 hours in the game since launch, and he just thinks that the game's lagging. It doesn't have as much as the world, And
Okay,
I'm like,
a little bit of an outlier there, right? Uh, so there's a funny Reddit post somebody made it a few days ago. Basically, it was just 100 hours in the first week, rushes to in game.
yep.
Where's my content, guys? It's really, come on, guys. There are people that are still in the middle of the campaign,
Yep.
like weeks after launch, and I'm almost envious because they're just having a great old immersive time, just taking it easy, having some fun. I've rushed through okay, opening weekend. Did you buy it opening week?
Yeah, well, about I was playing it like the first hour was available or whatever. So
Exactly. First weekend, how many hours you put in?
it's got to be like more than half of my total playtime, probably.
I think I ended out the opening weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with 40 hours, which isn't even a lot for some people. That's a lot for me. Okay, I don't put
I
a lot
thought it
of.
was a lot because I remember telling one of my other buddies, I said I had this one friend. He's already put in like the game's only been out for like 20 something hours, and he's put in like more than half.
That reminds me of the first guy to reach Hunter rank 999 in this game. Did you see any posts on that?
That had to have been a group effort. There's
Oh,
no way.
100%. 100% a group effort. But the guy had like 163 hours in the game when the game had only been out for like 170 hours. It's like 100% a group effort. But either way, that guy, I think, like right now, I've just gotten over 100 hours. Like, not even that bad. I've been playing every day, just like a few hours every day.
Right.
But he did it in but at the time when I saw that posting, I was at about 80 hours, and I think it was like 3 days before I saw it. So he went 10 times my hunter rank in just double my time spent. I was like, that is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh man, that made me laugh. But anyway, okay. Any of the other new mechanics you want to talk about? Power clashes, anything like that?
I didn't know how to do power clashes until I started using like the hammer and like
The
no, not the
hammer.
hammer, not the hammer, no, not the hammer. It was the lance. The lance,
Okay.
the great sword.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lance,
that's
great sword and shield, heavy
sword and shield.
bowgun.
Yeah, I didn't know heavy bow gun to do it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't. I remember seeing that in the trailers. I was like, how do you do?
I like the power clashing, but it's just right now there isn't much reason to do it. Like to go out of your way to try and do it, I
Um,
suppose.
I, there, there's one like little scenario, and it doesn't happen that often. It's got to line up perfectly. You have a friend who's been knocked down on the ground, and he's hurting, and you jump in there and you get right between him and the monster,
Okay.
do a power clash. Every now and then it lines up just perfectly, Sam.
Wow. 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 That's
Then you start playing holding out for a hero in the background.
oh, okay. I'll admit that's pretty badass. But
Yeah.
not exactly a common occurrence.
No.
Will that one time it happens make all the other times worth it? Yes, probably. But but it's okay. It's a nice addition. It's harmless. It doesn't ruin any balance or anything like that. And while you're power clashing, all of your friends still do max damage to the monster,
Which is not the case with mounting.
which is not the case with mounting. It's like
Yeah.
you're doing maybe what 10% of your damage, 20%
I
of
almost
your
like to
damage.
stop attacking. With some weapons, I just stop attacking. Like,
Oh,
no, there's
100%.
no
Yeah,
point.
I just there's no point in attacking while someone's mounting. That's another thing for multiplayer etiquette. If someone's mounting the monster, stop attacking. Same thing with wounds. Like, okay, any status effect, sleep, paralysis, stun, wounds. Don't do any of that shit when someone is mounting, because it'll immediately knock them out of their mount animation. So, whatever, okay? That's been a thing ever since Insect Glaive got introduced, so whatever. Mounting etiquette is whatever. Speaking of mounting etiquette, you dang kids and your stickers and your dirty sex jokes on all your stickers. you gotta you go touch some grass and find Jesus. No, but it is funny though. Like every single like 85% of the stickers and call outs and shout outs and stuff I see are just sex jokes.
This is what happens when you give the ability to edit stickers.
100%, dude. No, 100%. Whatever. It's all in good fun. Okay. Any of the other newer mechanics that we could discuss?
I mean, we think we hit on the main ones. Is there any other ones that you remember that are new to the series?
I mean, the big one is obviously the sacred.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think though because I'm thinking about the dog from the last one.
Well, true. The Palamutes from the last one, which, God, I would have loved to have had them back. I really enjoyed the Palamutes. It's just a little furry motorcycle. Very cool. Which, by the way, you can do a little drift thing in this, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But, okay, the Sacrets, right? I like them. I don't so much like the implementation of them, if that makes sense. I like the idea that we have faster modes of transportation. The things that I don't like about it are the auto move. I think that majorly takes away from the exploration. It's literally autopilot. And the pathing is not great most of the time. So sometimes you'll see people that just kind of shut their brain off and turn on autopilot, but then the Sacred just kind of runs up against a wall because it's lost.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like that. In addition to that, the Sacred is also just like a get out of jail free card. You get knocked over by a monster,
have it come pick you up. Yeah.
Call your mount. You need to sharpen. Call your mount. You need to heal. Call your mount. You need to eat a well done steak, something that in the past took like 45 seconds and you had to stand there. Call your mount. it's too easy, right? It makes certain things too easy as my sacred blocks the camera. Thank you, Sekirov.
Well, yeah, he heard you talking about.
Yeah, he heard me talking about him. I'm gonna stand up real quick and make my game. No,
Mine's over there like sleeping or something. I don't know what he's doing.
yeah, he's doing something. All right, sit back down. Go back to this thing. Go to this thing. Oh, hello, Alma. This camera position gets a little weird sometimes. Anyway, so okay, I like the little furry lizard thing.
Here comes one.
See, okay. Also, I changed in my settings so that I can't see other players or other players' mounts unless they get on them. Because I got tired. Because I'm a bow user at heart. I got so tired of Sekirov of of seeing them like behind my character blocking my camera. So you can do that in the options. You can turn off other players' Sekirits. But anyway, it is what it is. Any other new mechanics or anything that you'd like to discuss?
No, but on this secret thing, this is, kind of another reason why the fights are shorter or the hunts don't take as long. Because you're right, you just literally open the map, you R3 click the monster.
Sometimes you don't even need to do that.
No, you don't have to. It's done it for you.
Yeah.
And you hit up, and it just takes you there.
It just takes you right there.
And you're talking about like how it's tracking, and it's kind of wonky sometimes, and it starts like going in circles. This is why I wish we had the perspective of somebody who's like newer to the series. My friend Kyle says he played World for like 10 minutes, and he said the weapons were clunky and he didn't want to play, and he's given this one a fair shake, and he's played for him as much time as me.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, see,
man, we should have got him in here.
Yeah. Well, he's all in his feels right now, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit when we talk about some other stuff. He will like be auto going on his secret. He doesn't touch the settings or anything. He gets so mad when it's taking him the wrong direction or it's going in circles. I'm like, dude, just
like my guy. You have control of this thing if you want.
Yeah, you don't have to do what it's doing.
Oh, but it's like an impulse. It's a reflex now. The second he jumps on it, press up on the D-pad, right?
And I almost just wish, I wish that there wasn't even any auto movement at all in the secret,
100%. I agree with that sentiment. I think it should have been disabled from the start. Auto move. Maybe, I don't know. No, you know what? Not even unlocking it later. Just completely not even a thing.
Just not even a thing, yeah.
Not even a thing.
The Palamute wasn't that way. You had to manually ride the Palamute.
Yeah, like I said, little furry motorcycle.
And it actually helped you fight. So I don't know, maybe that's the balance here. This one can pick you up off the ground, but it doesn't help you fight. The Palamute helped you fight.
I mean, okay, but who's really relying on the damage from their Palamute and secret?
You could set it up to do some nice things.
I mean, yeah, but
equipment.
Yeah, but it wasn't okay. That's another thing, right? The Palicos in this game.
These are.
Oh my god, these are the elite of the most elite Palicos I have ever seen. They can do everything. They can heal. They can steal. They can blow stuff up. They can put down bombs. They can do stuns. They can do buffs.
Very few blights that mothers do put on you, they cure almost instantly.
Exactly.
So,
like, they are on it. And their cooldowns, and all of those tools they can use, you can upgrade them. You can upgrade them to make them better with slow, with faster cooldowns.
Giant vigor boss that'll pick you up when you're down.
Yeah, the revival one. I've seen that activate one time. It's a cool animation. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like that's
why they count as a party member.
Oh, 100%, 100%, and even they are leagues ahead of what we had in the previous game in like Rise, for instance. I think in Rise you could have oh, 2 skills or something like that. Like that
Yeah,
was it.
you had to pick, what you wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had to pick and choose. They completely scrubbed that entire system and
Hmm.
just gave you just a catch-all. It
Yeah, and you had different types of
yeah,
Helicos and Rise. There were like, healing ones and attacking
healing
ones.
ones,
Yeah,
trapping ones,
yeah.
exploding ones. I love that system. I thought it was great. That's like I enjoy the Palico in this, and it makes the game a lot easier. But I really miss the old
Oh yeah,
Palico
the
system.
traps. That's hilarious. He throws down the trap, and if it doesn't get used, he's like, "I'm gonna pick that up and bring it with us for later."
Yeah, like come on. No, it's yeah. There's a lot like okay, the support hunters in this game, right? The support hunters in
Oh,
this game, they are really good. And by the way, you can change their options in the settings to enable or disable certain actions. So you can stop them from mounting, you can stop them from doing offset attacks, you can stop them from trapping, you can stop them from like doing everything if you don't want them
yeah.
to do it.
I had to stop them from like popping all at once.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can fully change. Hello, Alma. You can change all that stuff. She's over there just waving at us. Just you guys gonna go like do something or no? Okay, that's cool. I guess. And yeah, no, it's just. I mean, okay. I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying as me bashing on the game. I am
No,
enjoying my time with the game. I am. Um, it's just
it's just different.
it is different, and it's one of those. Hello, Sekirov. Could you stop walking into the fireplace? Yes, okay. But this is definitely one of those like boomer takes of you kids don't
Yeah.
know what we had to deal with. Back in my day, pickaxes were breakable. Bug nets, you had to bring those with you on a mission. Oh man, that's something I do not miss.
Uh,
No. Oh man. Okay, so that's some of the new mechanics talked about and whatnot. This is probably going to be like a two-parter video with how much crap we've been talking about. Anything else you wanted to get into before we get into like how multiplayer works and those shenanigans?
oh, I kind of teased it, so like, let me tell you why my friend Kyle's currently taking a sabbatical for Monster Hunter Wilds,
Go for it.
and he was playing a lot. And this may be like a extra kind of like when we were talking about the difficulty earlier and getting parts and all that. There's one specific part in
Mm-hmm.
this game that you need for certain things that is very annoying to get.
Okay.
That is the fillers from Gore Magala.
Okay.
Because you can only get that part when he's enraged and can only be done from bashing his head.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the worst time to be in front of him. He's doing all of his, purple flame crap all on the ground.
Right.
And he's very, very aggro when he's the tempered version.
Yeah. To put it lightly.
Me and my friend Dave and my friend Kyle, who was the one trying to get the part, we were tempered Morgala, and we were clearing the mission. We weren't failing, but it was such a pain to get those fillers because none of us were using blunt weapons. None of us had a build at the time for a blunt weapon. And I told him, I said, really the best way to do this is you're going to need either a hunting horn or a hammer, and we'll stun him with traps, and get up in there and just keep on bashing his face, and those fillers will come off eventually. Well, he decides he wants the filler so bad for his build that he switches to it. He just randomly makes a hammer build. He throws it together in like 5 minutes. Never played hammer before. He said, I'm just gonna go in here and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna mash the same combo over and over again, and we'll see what happens. Well, that's when we started failing because he started carding because he didn't know what he's doing with the hammer. And
Gee, I
he got
wonder
off,
why.
and he hasn't been on in like, I mean, he's been on PlayStation, but he hasn't gotten on Monster Hunter in like 2 or 3 days. That's the one part in the game that is very difficult to get if you don't know what you're doing.
Okay. All I'll say is, did you know that exhaust coatings for your bow give your arrows the blunt status effect?
Yeah.
Okay, so do that. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. That's like That's some old school Monster Hunter BS right there. Just I need
Yeah,
one particular thing.
and I want more of that in the game.
And I'm sure we're going to get
We're
more of
going to get it.
that.
We're going to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the number one thing in this game so far that I have not liked the most is multiplayer shenanigans.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And that involves inviting friends, making people your friends, squads, lobbies, link parties, environmental links, something you didn't even know about until
Yeah.
literally
Totally
we
did
started
this.
recording this.
Yes.
Okay, I was talking to one of my friends who knows nothing about Monster Hunter, but they know about, playing video games and stuff like that. I said, all right, my guy, I'm going to say some things here. You tell me what you think they mean. Squad, lobby, link party, environmental link, all this. Oh, hello, inclement
Whoa.
weather. And he started to, give his opinions on what they could possibly be and stuff like that.
Right.
And I was like, wrong on all accounts.
Wrong on all accounts.
Like, none of those things I just said are what you think they are in Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay? And for anybody that's getting into this game that hasn't played the previous ones, none of the other games were like this multiplayer system. This is all mostly new. And it is needlessly complicated. Okay? Needlessly. Okay? I'm not trying to dramatize or anything. This is coming from somebody that took the time to figure it out, too. Okay? It is needlessly complicated, and it will be a deterrent for some people to try and play this game. Because, at least as far as I saw, a lot of it is not explained in-game, what a lot of it means.
It's not.
Like, at all.
No.
Like, the different types of lobbies you can enter from the start screen.
I think the extent that they went into teaching the player was, here's how to fire an S.
Yeah, here's an SOS. Bye. Like, come on. They don't even explain how, because some people have asked this question. Literally, people have asked this question. They have asked, how do I, or what is it? How do I help people with their quests? And it's literally what you should be asking is, how do I join via SOS? But the game never really explains that stuff. And that's something Capcom has always kind of struggled with their UI design and their menus. There's a lot of menus. Like,
Yeah.
and anybody that's played Monster Hunter in the past, they know. There's a lot of menus. That hasn't changed, and it will never change. There will always be a lot of menus. For better or for worse, it is what it is. But as far as if you were to jump into this game for the first time and look at all these different menus, they don't make sense. It's okay. The environmental link thing, right? You have put in over 100 hours into this game, playing multiplayer, helping your friends, playing together, squatting up, all that stuff. You didn't even know what environmental link was up until we started recording for this. Okay? Because the way it worked in the past, and in the previous Monster Hunter games, you would go into the Gathering Hub, you would see your friends in the Gathering Hub, and you would join your missions and ready up, and bam, you're good to go. This game, it's a completely different setup if you want to be in the same instanced world with one of your friends. So, i.e., I leave the base camp and walk into the open world. Normally, the way it works is everybody that's in the lobby, if you are set to a public lobby and you can see people running around, they all disappear the second you walk out of the base camp. They all disappear unless you link up, so you send a link party to your friends, and then you send them an invite to environmental link party, or whatever the heck it's called. And then that syncs up your instanced world with the rest of your friends so they can join in yours. That's the only reason why you're in the camp here with me right now. But that's something the game never explained. I had to figure that out through like 40 minutes of trial and error with a couple of my other friends, like opening day. We were like, okay, you joined my party? Okay, it's a link party. I don't know what that means, but sure, why not? And then I was looking around for them to be walking around and stuff, and I was like, where are you guys? And nothing. So then we started poking around in the menus more, and I was like, environmental link. I mean, that sounds like you guys will be in my world with me. Let's try it. And then I sent it, but they couldn't accept it because they weren't far enough in their campaign. So that option didn't even show up. So they would go to where in their menu where it says link party, and you know how there's 3 options. It's like invite to link party members, and environmental link or whatever. They only had 2 options. So they couldn't even see what I was talking about. So they thought I was like taking crazy pills over here. Like, you're talking about a menu option that doesn't exist. I'm just sitting here like, I'm not crazy, guys. But
Well, so it just dawned on me. This is why when we're looking for specific monsters, like when they're arriving at certain times, I'd see something different than somebody else would.
yep, yeah, because you
We're
weren't.
not the same environment link.
Yeah, like it's literally
My
like
God.
they yeah, no, that's just dawning on you right now. But it's like that wasn't explained, and that should have been a tutorial pop-up explanation.
Oh yeah.
Like all of it should have been, because again, needlessly complicated, and the biggest problem I have with the game thus far. Like, bar none, that's my biggest problem.
That's fair, and that was a huge, huge, huge. Can I add one more huge issue in the story? Just because of the way that all worked. Because
Yeah.
you had to watch the cutscene on your own, and if you hadn't watched the cutscene yet, then you couldn't join up on the quest. And then there was times where if you watched the cutscene at the exact same time, they would get an invite to join yours, and you'd get an invite to join theirs, and sometimes it just crashed the whole thing. And it's just.
Yeah, no, that's why whenever people are talking to me about this game right now, my main piece of advice is if you're just starting, do the story solo. Don't even bother with trying to invite your friends or do any of that stuff, because chances are features that they're going to have unlocked or features that you're going to have unlocked, they're just not going to match up the right way. So
No.
it's just going to be a pain in the ass. So just do this story by yourself. And that's pretty much how I had to do it. Like, opening weekend, because I beat the story up until like chapter 4 or 5 out of like 6. So I got my first credits roll by the time the first weekend was over. So low rank.
Yeah.
I just did all that solo pretty much because I didn't want to deal with, oh, you got kicked out of my lobby because I have to walk halfway across this map to go visit something. Just do it solo. Spend the first 20, 30, 40 hours solo, and maybe call in SOSs if you want. But yeah, and could have been done better. But yeah, again,
I feel like they did it better in World. Wasn't it better in World?
Yeah, they had a gathering hall in World.
Yeah.
they had a gathering hall.
Now, I understand why you don't have it yet in this game, and they made these sacrifices, and all of your complaints about the multiplayer, it's all for lore reasons, okay? Because we just got here.
No, I know, okay? The stupid lore reasons for the technicalities. Oh, why don't we have a gathering hall? Well, it's because we barely have a tent, okay? How the hell could we have a whole gathering hall, okay? No, I get that. Like, and from a lore perspective, that's cute. Like, it's cute, I get it. But still, though, come on!
Making technical sacrifices for lore.
Okay, and you know what? If you look at it from that perspective, whatever. I will admit that does make it a little bit easier to swallow. But we are getting all that stuff first title update, allegedly.
Because now we're established. Now we're here.
Yeah, like we're in the quote unquote new world, and yeah, no, it's that's my biggest gripe right now. But Yeah. Any other new gameplay mechanics or any other multiplayer hijinks that you'd like to discuss before we move on to
Uh,
the
so I think one
next?
thing we didn't touch on, and it kind of reminded me when the inclement weather came in, the
Yep.
whole only able to find certain things in certain weather types, and
Ah, yeah, the environmental reports and stuff like that, and
yes.
the overviews. I actually like that.
Hmm.
hmm I think that's pretty cool. It does suck because yesterday, oh man, yesterday I was doing the farming for that get 10 rarity 6 special item
Yeah.
things. So I probably sat in game for like 3 hours just
Right.
waiting. That sucked. But I mean, if you're just normally playing the game, it is nice. Yeah, I do
uh,
like it.
I ran into this a lot during the fishing quest because in order to get certain things that I wanted, your oh, by the way, like, didn't help me.
Yeah, well.
No, because I had some caveats like I don't know if you just got lucky or glitched or whatever. When I was trying to use the net, it did not count for the quest.
Wait, what?
When I was trying to use the little net to capture the fish for the fishing quest,
Uh huh.
it would not count.
Well, then
I
take
had
out your
to
fishing
catch.
pole, loser.
So yeah, well, I take out the fishing pole.
Okay, it's probably okay. First off, that might have been a little bit of a overlook on my part. Yeah, the net probably doesn't count for the fishing quests side
I was like,
quest,
man. I
but
was like, what?
but the important thing was the locations of where to find the fish.
Yeah, the location, yes, the cave, like the cave for the Grand Esconite. However, the game says nighttime is the best time to catch Grand Esconite. I never found any at
and
night.
and yet if you used your brain, you would realize the inside of a cave is probably pretty close to a nocturnal setting. Okay, so
However,
it
even
still
no,
counts.
no, even at night, okay, at nighttime in the cave, I still could not find Grand Esconite. So I was stretching my, I couldn't figure it out. So I looked on Reddit because that's what I always do when I can't figure something out after I've waited days and days in game.
Of course.
And everybody says the game's lying to you. Switch it to morning and fallow, and then you'll find all kinds of Grand Esconite. It doesn't make sense why they did it at the time. That's what I set it to, and all of a sudden the cave's full of them.
Okay, when they say nocturnal, they mean late night, early morning.
In the morning, yeah.
Did you know that there are two sections to the evening?
Yeah,
There's nighttime and late night.
yeah.
Late night, morning, that's what you're looking for them. So the game didn't lie. It didn't. It didn't lie, okay? It just wasn't specific enough.
No.
All right. Just
I mean,
throwing it out
so
there.
yeah, it's interesting, I guess, setting it to a certain time and weather inclemency.
Speaking of setting to time and all that bullshit, you know that stuff people were doing for the pollen?
Yeah.
Okay.
My friend Kyle was doing that.
I never did that. I never did that. I didn't want to bother with it. I think it takes the fun out of the game. I got my first two pollen like earlier today. Just happenstance. I just
Right.
happened to be in the plains. It just happened to be late night. It just happened to be the full moon. And I was going through my filters and my maps, looking up all the things when I was looking for all the items, and I started getting into the habit after I was looking for all the special grade items to look around for stuff. And bam, there it is. And I'm like, oh, hey, it must be a full moon. And I look up at the sky, and bam, full moon. I'm like, oh, this is the first full moon that I've ever noticed.
Oh, wow.
Because I wasn't looking for them. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, the weather system, I think you and I are both in agreement. It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
People still say rad, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, close
like
enough.
1999.
Yeah, no, close enough. Just missed it by 26 years. Anyway. Okay, next topic. In-game. How do you feel about the in-game so far? The quote-unquote in-game.
Depends on what kind of goal you're setting for yourself, I think.
Okay, that's a nice cop-out answer.
It's not a cop out. Okay, so there is the argument that the end game is literally just deco farming off of tempered Arkveld and tempered Gormagala.
Yeah.
That's one argument. I would say that for me, like my end game is playing Fashion Hunter.
Oh,
I'm building
100%.
all these different outfits, and I want to be pretty competent with all 14 weapons. That's my end game, but everybody has a different end game, you know?
Okay, so on that point, you and I have remarkably similar end games. I have been wearing the exact same armor set for the last 60 hours.
Hmm.
Every other piece of equipment that I have made has specifically been, hello, Sekhiroth, has been specifically made for fashion.
Yeah.
I am wearing the Dober set, and I have been wearing the Dober set, like, for the longest time. Okay, when you're playing the Monster Hunter series, this is for everybody that might be getting into the series. Most of the time, if you ever look up builds or anything online, you'll see people talking about meta build this, speedrun build that. And then one of the other builds that people talk about are comfy builds.
Yeah.
Okay? Comfy builds are builds that focus on, say, jack of all trades, generalist survival skills, things like that. That is like almost exclusively what I run in Monster Hunter. I run comfy builds. So my main focus is stamina. I never want to run out of stamina.
Hmm.
That's my whole thing. Because, yes, some weapons prioritize stamina over others, but every weapon can use it. So that's why I prioritized it for this one. I let more of my technical know-how, how I fight monsters, learning patterns, I let that overcome the difference of a perceived lack of DPS. You know, it's learning how to dodge at the right time when a roar is inbound, or, recognizing attack patterns and where weaknesses show up on monsters, because now certain monsters, after they do certain attacks, they get weak spots that you can take advantage of. Learning that kind of stuff. So personally, I run comfort builds. So once I find a build that works, most of the time that's just all I'm going to use. Now, as far as the fashion side of things, yeah, I'm 100% there with you, bud. It's all about the fashion. But your other goal, your other in-game goal, becoming proficient with all 14 weapons, I am there with you, man. I am 100% there with you. Right now, you'll have to look at my hunter profile to see all the weapons I've used. The only weapon I haven't really cracked into right now is Charge Blade.
Charge Blade.
And that's only because that was something I mained in the last game. So I used a shit ton of that. I've actually been using a lot of the Lance in this one.
Oh yeah, Lance is nice.
Lance is a lot of fun in this one. A lot of it also comes down to the focus strikes. The focus ability makes Lance way, way easier.
So you can just kind of stay on target with Lance and just keep poking.
Yeah, but that's one of my end goals as well. Just become proficient with all the weapons. I don't, and this is my own pet peeve. I don't know how somebody can play a Monster Hunter game and only use one weapon. Like, it's like you're getting a 14th of your money out of the game. Okay?
Right.
I mean, that's just how I feel about it now.
The way I explain it to my friend who's new to the series is treat each weapon as basically like a different character class.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you look at it that way, you'll get a lot of mileage out of the game.
I mean, I just love learning all the different mechanics. I like support builds in a lot of games, co-op and stuff like that. And my idea of support in this game is bring the right weapon for the right scenario. And I don't know about you. Oh, that's something we didn't even talk about in the new mechanics. The ability to bring a secondary weapon.
Oh yeah, the secondary weapons.
I use the shit out of that.
So I'll tell you, this is a very specific use case scenario. Okay.
2 hunting horns.
You knew where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You get one for certain buffs, and then the next hunting. Hello, Sephiroth. And then the next one you use the lengthened melodies. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, that's the main use I get out of it. That and switching off of elements. Like if there's a lot of monsters that are like weak to one element, but every now and then you'll run into one that's not,
Mm-hmm.
and that way you can have a backup. To switch off elements.
You know,
That's the other thing.
the funny thing about that, and I don't know if you're going to get into the same point that I'm about to get onto, but elemental weaknesses used to be a bigger deal back in the past. I feel like the times to kill are so low in this game, I don't have to worry about elemental differences. I bring an ice gun lance to the Jin Dahad fight, and we do just as fine. Like, I bring a fire weapon to a Rathalos fight, and we're just fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've powered through some fights, even with the element that they're resistant to. That's because the raw is so high on a lot of the weapons.
Yeah. No, the raw damage
Especially
is
if
not
you-
lacking on anything.
Especially if you get into the whole Ardean weapons.
Oh yeah, the Ardean weapons. Oh man, that could be a whole topic onto itself. Jeez. Ugh. Okay. To end off this video, because it's getting a little bit long, this might be a three-parter. Jeez, I thought I was going to do this all in one part. Nope, guess we're going into overtime. The whole thing with the discussion of DPS, meta, what builds are blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't think those discussions have nearly as much relevance as they used to, just because the time to kill is so much quicker. When we were spending 15 plus minutes on a hunt, yeah, bringing the right elements or bringing a super optimized build could save you like 5 minutes of time. In this, you're saving like 30 seconds. It's just, I feel like the speedrunning community is a little, it's okay. Most of the time they're a little up their own butts when it comes to a lot of stuff, but in this game especially, it's like, oh yeah, we killed the Gormagala in less than 3 minutes. Okay, but the fight itself normally takes like 6 minutes, so big deal. It's like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just because I've been on Reddit too much and I've seen too many people posting about, oh, what's the best sword and shield, meta and build. And by the way, sword and shield fucking feels amazing in this game. Feels so good. I don't know if you've run sword and shield much, but you should.
I haven't run it yet.
It feels real good. It's in such an amazing place. And this is coming from somebody that's like a sword and shield supremacist. Like, I don't say that I really main weapons very often, because I like to use all of them. But sword and shield is consistently the weapon that I main.
That would be your main.
That would be my main. If I had a main, besides bow, sword and shield would be it. And it feels amazing. The only thing we're missing in this is coatings.
I've come full circle on bow, by the way, now that you mentioned bow. Because remember I told you that I felt it was kind of underwhelming?
Yep.
It's because I was relying too much on the stupid tracer thing, which is they nerfed the hell out of that.
Well, okay, I was just gonna say, and we'll have to cut this short here after this, but I was just gonna say, apparently, because I didn't play the beta, I didn't want to play.
Yeah, oh yeah, you didn't play the beta. Yeah, I played the beta.
Apparently, the tracer was amazing in the beta.
Yeah.
And when people got to the main game, they were so disappointed.
Yeah, that was that big title update. Well, not title update, but big patch on day one. It was like balance changes.
Yep. And you know what? Whatever. Fair. It is what it is. But anyway, as far as this is concerned, I'm going to make a cut here, and we'll pick up in a minute. We'll talk about future of the game, little things here and there. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Next part.